Our firsts are something very special. Our first child, our first pet, our first love, our first loss. These are critical things for us. Inside this garage is something really important to me, something that has a lot of memories. In here is my first motorcycle.
Wait, was a 500-pound Dakar race bike with 100 horsepower your first motorcycle?
Let's talk about that.
So how did I get here? Well, we need to rewind the clock just a little bit to find out. My journey into motorcycling started later than any. While I always loved bikes, it wasn't until I read Long Way Round just shy of my 40th birthday that I actually took the plunge. I started looking for a bike and settled on a KLR 650 until a childhood memory suddenly resurfaced. You see, when I was about 12, I did a school project on the Dakar Rally. I loved everything about it. I especially loved the motorbikes, the sheer insanity of traveling days across the desert on a big dirt bike. The KTM 950 was burned into my brain. And while I was scrolling ADV Rider one night, this photo popped up. My 12-year-old heart skipped a beat. The next morning, the deal was done. I just bought a 6-year-old Austrian V-twin with a reputation for, let's call it, personality. I didn't even have a license yet.
So despite this enthusiasm that I had for this bike, I'm going to share with you 3 reasons why this should not be your first bike. This should not be your starter bike. And then I'm going to share with you why I'm glad that it was my bike as my starter bike. So the first reason why this bike does not make for a good starter bike is its weight. This is a 500-pound big dirt bike, and you will, as a new rider, as a starter bike, you are going to drop it, not on purpose, but as you're learning to ride, especially if you're into the sort of gravel, off-road, that kind of stuff, you will. It's just part of learning, and it's not a big deal, but you are going to drop it. And so picking up a 500-pound bike is a lot more difficult than picking up a 250 or a 300-pound bike. So the weight of the bike, picking it up, makes it tough. Secondly, a bigger bike, a heavier bike, is going to carry a lot more momentum. So where does this matter? Well, if you're, again, using this as an adventure bike, maybe you're on some gravel, you're going downhill slightly, and you put on the brake and you've got some momentum of a big, heavy bike behind you, is the dynamics of that braking is going to be much different between a heavy bike and a lighter bike. So it just will throw you into more sort of concerned territory where you might get into trouble. So a lighter bike, easier to control when you're going downhill, less momentum. The third part of weight, where it matters, is really around maneuverability. This is a big bike. Being that it's my first bike, I've gotten used to its riding dynamics. I can understand how it, look at that view. I can understand how it, I can understand its riding characteristics, but a bigger bike is harder to maneuver, especially if you're going into forest roads, if you're going in areas, even intercity traffic. A lighter bike is much more nimble, can get you out of trouble easier, in my opinion, and probably won't get you into trouble in the first place. Whereas a heavy bike, you have to anticipate your moves a lot more. You have to be a lot more deliberate in when you brake, what you're aware of, all those sorts of things. So weight, not a good idea on a starter bike, and this bike definitely has its share of weight. So the second reason why this is not for a good starter bike is really the cost, and I'm sort of thinking about not only your upfront costs, buying a small sort of Japanese bike. You can get them pretty inexpensively. KTM, a bike like this, obviously are more expensive. And so right out of the box, you're paying more for a bike that you're probably gonna not keep for too long. You may drop it, you might scratch it up. So putting a huge investment in it isn't something that you necessarily, what I wouldn't, necessarily recommend. Maintenance costs. So these bikes do require maintenance. It's a Dakar built bike, and so as a race bike, there's a lot of things that need to be kept working. And if you're a beginner, if you're new, if you're just doing this, starting out, I think it's hard to do that as well, to be maintaining, to learning a very expensive bike and having to go through all the motions of getting, coming to terms with it, when you should really just be focused on, learning to ride, learning to control the bike, all the things that you need to be able to do to stay safe riding. And then I think I alluded to this in my other video, but the cost of maintaining these bikes, as parts perhaps are harder to find, the cost of getting these parts are going up. And so I think that's another reason why maybe you want to avoid it. You don't want, as a starter bike, as someone who's starting out, you don't necessarily have all the connections to forums, to groups, etc., to keep your bike going, and so you're kind of blazing your own way. So I think where you can sort of reduce any of those variables as a new rider, I think that's smart and something that I would definitely recommend. And I think part of that too is that fewer and fewer shops work on these bikes. Japanese bikes, you can get them fixed virtually anywhere, probably around the world. KTMs, they're a certain quality to them, and they like to get looked after, and so KTMs are less known. And so it may be harder if you're looking for a part, if you're looking for a mechanic even that has experience in these bikes. It's getting harder and harder to find. So the cost is that there's fewer and fewer people that know these bikes exist and know how to ride them, so, or how to work on them, I should say. So that's, I think, something to definitely keep in mind. Also related to cost is if you go with the recommended oil, the Motorex oil, basically you're going to have to pick a body part to give up in order to finance the cost of Motorex oil for your bike. Easy. So one of the biggest reasons, this is really hard to see, one of the biggest reasons why you should not buy this bike as your first bike, your starter bike, is that this is a very powerful, essentially a race bike, and it has a lot of get up and go, which if you're not used to it, will throw you off. It's like any bike. This is sort of across any make model. It's not particularly why you shouldn't get this bike perhaps, but is more of why you shouldn't get a bike that's a 950cc as your first bike. So you know, you might say to yourself, well, I think I can handle it. Maybe you can. I did, and I'm still here to ride about it. But a couple of reasons why you don't want to have a big bike like this. It can get you into trouble really quickly. You can find yourself in trouble quicker than on a smaller bike. You can also get sucked into sort of we call it a whiskey throttle. That when something's going south and then you pull the throttle, give it some welly. Smaller bikes not going to buck you off. Something similar will in fact buck you off. So smaller bikes good, power, good reason not to get this as your first bike.
So you want to buy a KTM 950 Adventure.
So if someone was to come up to me today and say, hey, I'm thinking of getting a KTM 950 or 990 as my starter bike, what advice would I give them? Well, I think firstly I would say no! Don't get one of these bikes as your first. There's plenty of other bikes that will be better suited for a beginner. These are very analog. These bikes, they don't come with any rider aids that would help a new rider. On this particular bike, there's no ABS, there's no traction control, there's no angle adjustment, there's no there's not even fuel injection on this particular bike. It's still carbureted, so there's it's very not it's very analog compared to motorbikes that are out there today and things that you could get. So don't bother. Look for another bike that you don't mind dropping, a bike that's perhaps less precious, less rare. These are getting rare. Don't get one. However, if you are set on getting one of these as your starter bike, as your first bike, there are some things that I would suggest you do so that you can, live long and enjoy riding a motorcycle. First, respect it. This is, as you've heard me say, this is a race-bred bike. You need to give it respect or you will get hurt. And if you're, when I was 20 something, I would not have done well with this motorcycle. I got this when I was 40, much different person, very different understanding of what could hurt me, and not as crazy as I was in my 20s. And so I think you just want to be aware of things like that. I think you want to be aware of who you are and your nature, and if you are going to get one, you got to respect it. You got to give it time to get used to it, and I think it's important. I think do a lot of lessons. I've taken lessons on this particular bike, so I think if you can do lessons on it, the instructor can help you with this particular bike rather than being sort of in theory about how you'd ride. You've actually got your own bike, and that'll help you learn how to do this. Take more classes. It's the classic train the rider, not the don't make the bike better.
What?
It's not a quote, but it's kind of a quote maybe. Respect the bike. Third, give yourself a lot of time. Give yourself a lot of time to get used to the bike before you take it on something more gnarly. So I had this bike probably for a few years before I actually started going on, you know, adventure rides, places where I was remote by myself, kind of, you know, a day or so away from other people, because I really needed to get used to it. I needed to understand how this bike works, how it operates. And I think that only comes with time. I think if you're not willing to give it time and you rush it, again, I think you will get hurt. Well, a couple of reasons. One is I was 40 when I bought the bike, so I'm not a 20-year-old where I feel like maybe at 40 I've got a little bit of caution built into me. Secondly, this was a bike that I just loved looking at. When I was looking for a bike, it was just something that kept popping up. The Dakar history and heritage of this bike was something that really spoke to me. And I think when I came upon these bikes, started looking at them, something just connected with me. And it was in Canada, which not a lot of bikes were being sold at that time. This came up for a very good price. And within about 12 hours, I had bought the bike sight unseen. And this was my first motorcycle. In a lot of ways, it was probably, you know, good for me that I started on this bike. I'm trying to convince myself, if you can't tell, because I actually took a long time to learn how to ride it. I didn't think I could do, you know, gnarly terrain or long trips a week after I got the bike. It actually took me probably 4 or 5 years of consistent riding and practicing in order to feel comfortable loading up the bike and actually going out and exploring. And I think had it been a simpler bike for me, I would have perhaps rushed into that. I gave myself a lot of time to get used to this bike. So this bike really is my forever bike. It's something that I'll keep, even if I add bikes to the stable. I'm not going to be getting rid of any. No, I'm not going to be getting rid of this one. This is very special to me. Yeah, it's such a great bike. Listen to it. It's just, you don't see anything like this on the road or offer anymore. These are special bikes, I think. So, yeah. So if you like this content, please do consider subscribing. I appreciate those that already have. Really trying to push to 1,000 subs. Actually, if you're thinking about subscribing, I'm going to do a giveaway. I'm going to give a free t-shirt, a pre-production t-shirt, to the 1,000th subscriber. So, you know, tell your family, tell your friends to subscribe and see if we can get to 1,000 subscribers. That person, their choice, let's say the choice of, you know, let's say 3 designs, they can pick one of 3, and I'll make it up, get them a shirt, and yeah, all good.
Thanks for watching. If you're crazy enough to start out on a bike like this, let me know. See you out there. Stay safe, everyone.